Hi, this is Ravi Verma, and this is the second part of the chapter number third from your NCRT textbook of science. And the name of the chapter is Synthetic Fibers and Plastics. So, dear students, in the first video or the first part, we have discussed about the different synthetic fibers, and we know that the synthetic fibers are made up of polymers which are made by combination of a very large number of small chemical units in the form of a long chain. Okay, now in this video we will start with the topic plastics. We know that there is a large number of articles which we use in our day-to-day life and which are made up of plastics. For example, accessories, kitchen utensils, stationaries. There is a long list of items which we use which are made up of plastics. So dear students, the plastics, you should know that as the fibers are polymers, in the same way plastics are also polymers. Plastics are also polymers means they are made up of a very large number of small units combining together. So the arrangement of small units in a polymer is not always same. So all plastics do not have same types of arrangement of units. The arrangement of small units may be of two types in a particular plastic or in a particular polymer. That may be simply linear or that may be cross linked. So when the units are arranged and attached together in a linear arrangement, this is called a linear arrangement. But when the units in a polymer are also linked together side by side, this is called cross linked arrangement of monomers or cross linked arrangement of units. So dear students, usually the plastics which have linear arrangement, they are soft and easily bent. They can be easily bent and they are soft. But the plastics which have cross linked arrangement of units, they are very hard and means they are very hard and they do not easily bend. Okay, so we are going to discuss about two different types of plastics further in this chapter. So first of all, let us understand the importance of plastic. We know that plastics are very important, means uh, a very large number of different articles having different shapes, different colors, different uses are made by plastics. But can you think why is this so that the plastics are being extensively used in a very large number of articles? What is the reason? The reason is that that the plastic is easily moldable and can be shaped in any form, means we can mold them into different forms very easily. And the plastics can be recycled, they can be reused, they can be colored differently, they can be melted, they can be rolled into sheets, or they can made into wires. So this is why they find such a large variety of uses. All right. Okay, so here in this figure number 3.7 you can see a few different uses. However, there is a large number of uses of plastics. Here you can see some kitchen utensils, toys, and buckets, chairs, and other furniture materials are prepared or manufactured by using plastic material. Okay, so you must have listened the term polythene. Okay, generally polythene bags you use. Okay, you have been using polythene bags. So what is polythene? Polythene is a polymer of ethene. That's why it is called polythene, and it is generally used for making polythene bags. Okay, now there are two types of plastics, one which can be bent easily but the others cannot be bent easily. For example, you can bend a plastic bottle in which you keep your water. Okay, so a plastic water bottle can be bent easily. For example, if we talk about Pepsi bottle or Bisleri bottle, they bend easily, right? But what about the electrical switches? Can you bend them easily? They are also made up of plastics. So no. So here we see that there are two types of plastic materials. One which can be bent easily, but the others which cannot be bent easily. Okay. So such plastics which get deformed easily on heating and which can be bent easily are known as thermoplastics. So just try to make a list of such items in your homes which bend easily and which deform when heating. So such articles are actually made up of thermoplastics. So one category of plastics is thermoplastics. So two examples of thermoplastics are polythene and PVC. PVC is the same material which is used for making insulation or covering around the cables and wires. Okay, now the uses of thermoplastics are many, but a few are written here. For example, they are used for making toys, they are used for making combs and various types of containers also. Now another category of plastics is thermosetting plastics. What are thermosetting plastics? There are some plastics which, when molded once or shaped once, cannot be softened by heating. These are called thermosetting plastics. Means the plastics which once molded and then they will not be molded again. They will not melt again. They will not get deformed on heating. Okay, means they cannot be reused again. Okay, such plastics are called thermosetting plastics, right? So for example, if we talk about electrical switches and the handles of cookers and other kitchen utensils or handles of iron, they are generally made up of thermosetting plastics. Two important or major examples of thermosetting plastics are bakelite and melamine. So let's talk about what is bakelite. Bakelite is a very poor conductor of heat and electricity, and that's why it is used for making electrical switches and handles of cookers and kitchen utensils. Right. So the names which I taken, the examples which I taken, like electrical switches, handles of cookers, handles of iron, they all are made up of bakelite, which is very poor conductor of heat and electricity, and which do not deform on heating, which does not melt on heating. Okay, now the second important type of thermosetting plastic is melamine. Okay, it is a versatile material, and the important feature of melamine is that it resists fire and can tolerate heat better than other plastics. So this is the melamine is the most heat resistant plastic, you can say, and that's why it is used for making floor tiles, okay, kitchen wares and fabrics which resist fire. So the dresses of firefighters have a coating of melamine so that they do not catch fire. Okay, so you can make a very long list of thermosetting plastics. You know, thermosetting plastics are used for making parts of machines and bodies of machines and utensils and home appliances. Okay, so there is a large list of uses of thermosetting plastics. Okay, now plastic is a material of choice. This is a question actually, that why we choose plastic as a material for making a large number of different articles. We have already discussed that it is very lightweight, it is recyclable, it can be colored, it can be shaped properly, right? So this is all that we are going to discuss here. Okay, so suppose we are thinking of storing a food, or we are thinking of storing water, milk, pickles or dry fruits, then what will come to our mind? We will think that plastic containers seem most convenient for it. Means we will first of all choose that we should keep our food items into a plastic container. Okay, why what is the reason? Because they are very lightweight and they are cheap, means they have lower price, and they are they have a good strength and they are easily handled. Okay, so lightweight, lower price, good strength, durability, easily handle, easy handling, these all characteristics of plastic make it a material of choice. Look, being lighter as compared to metals, plastics are used in cars, aircrafts, and spacecrafts also. So if you use the parts of plastics in a car, then the car will become very lightweight. Okay. In the same way, if you use plastic materials in an aircraft, then the aircraft will become very lightweight. And this is what we want. This is what we want. In the same way, if we start making a list of items which are made up of plastics, then it will become a very long list. So you can try once. You should make a list of plastic items which you come across and which you use every day. Okay, now let us discuss some properties or some characteristic properties of plastics. This is another topic. Characteristic properties of plastics. So first very important characteristic property of plastics is that plastic is non-reactive. Means they do not react with water and air, and generally chemicals, with chemicals also they do not react. So they are very less reactive, or we can say actually they are non-reactive, means they do not react with water, oxygen, air, or chemicals. Okay, so this is why they do not get rust. But if we talk about metals like iron, copper, these all get rusted because they react with air and water. So for example, if you take a box of iron, okay, then with time the iron will get rusted when it is left exposed to moisture and air. But plastics do not react with water and air, so they are non-reactive, and that's why they are most suitable for making containers and many other things. Okay, furnitures made up of plastics are more durable as compared to the metals, right? Now plastic is light, strong, and durable. This is another very important feature of plastic. Look, if you will talk to your parents and your elders, and if you ask them that what was the material of buckets that was used in past, then you will find the answer that the buckets previously, or in a very in a way in past, the buckets used to be made up of metals like iron. Okay, but they used to get rusted very quickly, and they used to degrade very quickly, and they were heavy weight, they were very heavy in weight. So but now today, the time has changed. Today we generally avoid using metal buckets. We use plastic buckets and mugs. Why is this so? Because plastic is light, means it is light in weight. It is strong and durable also, okay, as compared to metals, and can be molded into different shapes and sizes, and can be colored variously. And this is why today the buckets and the mugs are made by plastics, right? So this is a very important feature, this is a very important characteristic property of plastic, that they are lightweight, they are very strong and durable. Okay, now here you can see in figure number 3.8 also some articles made up of plastic. Like this is a box. This is a box which is made up of thermoplastic, and this is the wire, and the wire is coated by thermoplastic, that is called PVC. So the coating on the wires is thermoplastic, right? And there is use of thermosetting plastics shown, for example electrical switches and some kitchen utensils like plates, handles of cooker, and other kitchen utensils. These all are the uses of thermosetting plastics. Okay, now another thing that is very important is that plastics are poor conductors of both heat and electricity. Poor conductors of heat and electricity. And this is why the handles of kitchen utensils and the electrical switches are made up of plastics. Because if you make the handles also with metals, then they will get very very heated up, right? So they will get hot, and that's why the handles of kitchen utensils, vessels, electrical switches, iron handles, they all are made up of plastics. Now plastics not only find the use in what we have discussed. Look at the use of plastics in healthcare industry. You know that they are used for making packaging of tablets and capsules. They are used for making threads which are used for stitching wounds. Okay, so when you get some wound, the doctor stitches the wound. So the thread which is used for stitching the wounds is made up of plastics. And syringes are also made up of plastics. You know, doctors gloves are also made up of plastics, and a number of medical instruments, other instruments, are also made up of plastics. Next is microwave must have been used in your homes, right? Many of us have seen what is microwave. Microwave is used for cooking nowadays, and in microwave we use some containers which are made up of special plastics. They're called special plastic cookwares, right? And when they are used in a microwave, actually heat only cooks food, but the heat does not affect such plastics. So such cookwares which are used in microwaves are made up of special plastics which are not affected by microwave heat. Okay, then is Teflon. What is Teflon? You must have seen non-stick pans, non-stick tabas in your homes, right? They have a special coating of a plastic that is known as Teflon. So Teflon is a special plastic that is non-stick. Non-stick means the water and oil does not stick to the Teflon. All right, so the non-stick cookware have a coating of a plastic known as Teflon. That's why the water and oil does not stick to them. Now plastic and the environment means how plastics affect the environment. Dear students, we all know that plastics are not environment friendly, means they are very harmful to the environment. For example, we use polythene bags which are a plastic. So when we use polythene bags and we throw them here and there in some parks, in some picnic place, in on roads or in water bodies, they cause a large number of problems, and they cause different types of pollutions. Okay, they cause water pollution, they cause soil pollution, and when they are burnt they cause air pollution also. So this is what we are going to learn here. So generally when we go to market, we find foods which are wrapped either in polythene or in some plastic container, right? So this is one reason why plastic waste keeps getting accumulated in our homes. So whenever we buy something from the market, when we bring it to home, we remove some uh, plastic covering, right? Plastic packaging. So ultimately this whole plastic that we are collecting at our home, that goes to our garbages. Okay, and then that is a major problem of disposal of plastics, right? So means how to dispose this lot of plastic that we are generating every day. Okay, so this is a problem. Dear students, you know, plastics do not degrade. Plastics do not degrade by natural processes. There are two types of materials. One are called biodegradable and the other are called non biodegradable. So plastic is non biodegradable. Let's understand what is biodegradable and non biodegradable. Look, the materials which get degraded with time, right, by some natural process like the attack of bacteria, they're called biodegradable materials. For example, the wood, right, the jute bags, right, and the food materials, means all those materials which are obtained from either plants or animals, they all are biodegradable. So they do not cause any pollution, they do not remain in the environment for a long time. For example, if you leave a cotton cloth or a wool cloth or a jute bag in some ground, in some soil also, okay, after a few weeks you will see that it has been degraded. But when you leave plastic, okay, then you will see that even after years it is not degraded, it is then and there only. Okay, means it is as it is there. There is no change in that particular material. So such materials which do not degrade with the natural processes like the attack of bacteria and other microorganisms, such materials are called non biodegradable materials. Look at the table number 3.3. You will see that there is type of wastes and their approximate time taken to degenerate, means how long do they take to degenerate, and what is the type of material, are they biodegradable and or non biodegradable. This is written here. For example, if the waste is peels of vegetables, fruits and leftover food stuff, then if you leave them for some time in soil, they will take just 1 to 2 weeks to degrade. That means they are biodegradable. In the same way, paper takes around 30 days, 10 to 30 days. Cotton cloth, it takes 2 to 5 months to degrade. Wood take 10 to 15 years to degrade. Woolen cloth take about 1 year to degrade. But look at this, if the material is tin, aluminum and other metal cans, okay, then the metals take a very long time, that is 100 to 500 years, and they are non biodegradable. In the same way, plastic bags also take hundreds of years, okay, so that's why they are also non biodegradable. So plastics become a major source of pollution, and this is why the plastics are not environment friendly. So another problem because of which we can call them environment because of which we can say that the plastics are not environment friendly, that is that the burning process in the synthetic materials like plastics is quite slow and it does not get completely burnt. And while we try to burn the plastics, okay, you will see that a large amount of poisonous fumes is produced and released in the atmosphere, so that there is atmospheric or air pollution because of burning of plastics. So in order to dispose plastics, we cannot select the option of burning the plastics. Okay, this is again a very problematic thing. Okay, another very harmful effect of plastic is written here in this box. You know that, dear students, we generally throw the plastic like the wrappers of chips, the polythene bags here and there. Okay, we throw them into our garbage. Okay, when that garbage is dumped outside the homes, right, in the colonies, okay, the animals like cow, dogs, they try to eat the food stuff which is left over there in the garbage. But along with that leftover food, they usually eat some plastic items, wrappers also, okay, or plastic packaging materials also. And when they get into their body, they generally block their respiratory systems, or they may make some lining in their stomach, okay, they make some lining in the stomach, and finally it will cause their death also. So these are very harmful consequences to the animals also, which are caused by plastic. Okay, so Look, this is something very important written here. The polybags carelessly thrown here and there are responsible for clogging the drains too. Okay, so another major problem is that when we throw the plastics, they clog the drainage system in our colonies. So when there is rain and even without rain, when the blockage, when the drainage is blocked, right, there is overflow of the sewage waters, sewage materials, and this causes very unhygienic conditions on our roads and streets, and it may cause a large number of diseases. Okay, so we should be very careful. We should think at least twice before throwing any plastic material, any plastic wrapper here and there. Okay, so we should keep them into the proper dustbins, and generally the biodegradable and non-biodegradable materials should be collected separately. In your colonies you see that blue box, green box, right, means सूखा कचरा, गीला कचरा, that all is to separate them. Okay, now now dear students, there is a homework for you. I want to give a very interesting homework to you. This is a very interesting homework to you, and I think everyone, if you want to become a very responsible citizen, then you should think and do this homework very carefully, very sincerely, I will say. For example, what is this homework? This is, as a responsible citizen, what measures do you suggest to keep public places clean and free of plastic? This is a very important homework. I think you should do, everyone should do this. You should make a list, some innovative ideas, that how we can reduce the amount of plastics in our environment. How can we make our environment free from the plastic pollution? Okay, so this is your homework. I hope everyone will do it by his own will. Okay, so a few measures are written here, already written here, a few things which we can follow. For example, we should avoid the use of plastic as far as possible. Okay, and make the use of bags made of cotton and jute when you go for shopping. So do not use plastic items, avoid using plastic items. For example, if you want to use your lunch box, use some metal lunch box. Don't use plastic lunch box. In the same way, use metal water bottles instead of in place of plastic bottles, right? So use as little as possible the plastics. Next, the biodegradable and non-biodegradable waste should be collected separately and disposed of separately. So three measures are written here, three things, three actions we can take. Avoid use of plastics, and use the cotton and jute bags when going for shopping, and collect the biodegradable and non-biodegradable materials separately. And you can suggest some more things. You can make a list of such actions which can take, such measures which we can take to reduce the amount of plastics in our environment. Okay, now there is, if you want to reduce the plastics, you can follow 5R principle. 5R principle, right? And what is this 5R principle? The 5R principle is reduce means using very less, or avoiding the use of plastics. Okay, and what is reuse? Reuse means you are using the same thing again and again, means you are using a plastic bottle, so use this for very long time, keep using it until it is completely, means damaged. Okay, so use the same thing for a long time. A very interesting use example of reuse I want to give you. Dear students, today I know that most of the students simply throw a pen when their refills are completely used. Okay, so you simply throw the whole pen, but we, means the generation of my time, right, my generation, we used to use the same pen for a very long time. We keep replacing the refills only. In the same pen we used to replace at least 5 or 10 times the refill, right? We used to put new refill every time one refill was completely used. So in this way we reduced a lot of waste that was created due to plastic. Okay, so you should replace your refill. You should not throw the pen immediately if the refill is completely used. In the same way, there are a large number of stationary items you don't care about them, but you should take care of them, because if you are purchasing a large amount of plastic stationery, that means you are producing a lot amount of plastic wastes. So this is a very good example of reuse, right? So I hope every student will follow this suggestion, that he should not throw the pen, he should replace the refill. Okay, now recycle means the items which can no more be used or reused, they should be sent to the junkyards. From there they should go to the factories where they should be recycled to make new articles. But even during recycling we use some colors during the recycling process, and that makes the plastic unsuitable for use of storage of food, right? Okay, now what is recover? Dear students, generally we collect the plastic waste in our homes somewhere. Okay, I'm giving you one example of recover. What is recover? So suppose we collect the plastic waste into some corner or into some box in our home. Okay, now one day we try to find out that can we use something out of them. So if we are recovering something that can be used from the waste, that is called a recovery. That is called a recovery. So you should select the things from the waste things that you can put into use. This is called recovery. In the same way, what is refuse? Refuse simply stop using plastics. Stop using plastic means refusing plastics. For example, if you don't use a single plastic bag, that is refuse. For example, even today when the polythenes are banned, when you visit some marketplace, when you go to some shop, you will find that the shopkeeper is giving you something in a polythene bag. You simply deny taking the polythene bags. You should refuse the use of plastic bags, and you should means you should tell him that he should also stop the use of plastic bags now. Okay, so these are a few things which are very important for being eco-friendly. Now another very interesting box is written here, fiber wise. What is fiber wise meaning? Do not throw plastic bags in the water bodies or on roads, and take a cotton carry bag or a jute bag while going to shopping. In the same way, try to minimize the use of plastic materials. Use a steel lunchbox instead of a plastic one. So simply use the metal boxes. Okay, don't purchase the plastic lunch boxes. Okay, so dear students, this is all about this chapter, and now thank you for watching this video. Dear students, in the next video we are going to discuss the next chapter.